created a whole new conversation here in Washington about Elon, the political operative. Remembering, of course, he had gone back to Tesla. He was done with politics following Doge and was going to focus on the business at hand. He's been spending a lot more time with Donald Trump recently and is again appearing with the Secretary of War today, making us consider the on-again, off-again relationship between Elon Musk and the administration.
And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force. Be interesting. If he has the time, that'll be a good one to do it.
President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job.
Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval, and we'll give him the approval where appropriate. If there's a conflict, that we won't let him get near it. But he does have a good natural instinct.
I expect to continue to provide advice whenever the president would like advice.
I hope so.
I expect to remain a friend and an advisor, and certainly if there's anything the president wants me to do, I'm at the president's service.
I was very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible.
That was so long ago. Kaylee Lyons was sitting next to me. But of course, they slowly got back together. And now they're, in fact, working together again by way of the Defense Secretary. And maybe even more. Speaking on Air Force One last night, the president going even further to say that he may call on Elon Musk to deploy Starlink in Iran to help anti-government protesters there. This is where we start with our political panel, the reemergence of one of the most significant political operatives in the last campaign. Bloomberg Politics contributor Jeannie Shanzano is with us, democracy visiting fellow at Harvard Kennedy School's Ash Center, alongside Republican strategist Lonnie Chen, fellow in American policy, public policy studies at the Hoover Institution at Stanford University. It's great to have both of you with us here. Jeannie, we went through a lot in the life and times of Trump and Musk. Is he back?
He is. This is actually, I understand, Joe, the first time he's appearing publicly on stage with a senior member of the administration. So you remember the old song, "The Boys Are Back in Town"? That has been ringing through my head all day. It's truly, they are reunited. And I think the Poor American Party that he was talking about starting may have seen it's the death knell of that. But, you know, the Pentagon announced that he was going to be talking about how he can improve the manufacturing base in the defense sector, and about how the bureaucracy of the Pentagon has really gotten in the way of that. And I am so interested to hear that, because, of course, what are the details there? This is on the heels of the president asking for $1.5 trillion, a 50% raise in the defense budget for a department that has never been able to pass a really simple audit. So, you know, what are the specifics there? And the reality is that he's right. It is a disaster over there, particularly the procurement process. So I'm hoping that the Defense Secretary or War Secretary is going to be speaking about how he is going to improve that.
Well, that's right, Lonnie. It's an address on how Pentagon bureaucracy is holding back the nation and hurting firms like SpaceX. So is Elon Musk maybe not back in the administration, but back in the family?
Well, I don't know that he ever left the family, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that he's someone whose influence extends. I mean, he was characterized as a political operative. I think his influence and his impact goes well beyond any operative would ever have. I mean, this is someone who brings a lot of economic success, clearly someone who President Trump respects from the perspective of having been an economic success story. And I think it's interesting, the topic of the conversation that the secretary is going to approach today in Texas has more to do with the continuing expansion in a lot of ways of the American defense industrial base, and the ways in which America is going to try and be a leader, not just in technology necessary for kinetic warfare, but also potentially for the warfare of the 21st century, technological warfare, et cetera. And I think we're going to see some of that conversation happening in Texas and over the next several months. So this is an interesting move, not so much because of Elon Musk's reemergence in my mind, as it is because it does signal, I think, where the Defense Department or War Department is going to be directing its attention over the next several months and years in terms of procurement, in terms of where the defense industrial base is headed.